What up, everybody? What's going on? So, yes, today is the day for all the fans of the Apple products, the iPhone, the AirPods, all these things that's going to be revealed and unveiled today as I'm waiting for the live event to happen. And as you may notice that this is a live reaction, so the event will not be streamed on this live stream. As you guys know, Apple is very meticulous about that, so I cannot be showing anything from the event in this live stream. I can only describe and tell you guys what I'm seeing. So really, you're just, you're in here. If you're watching, you're catching my reactions to all of this. So yeah, it's been a while since I've used Restream to live stream, so glad to be back on the platform and using this method. And yeah, we got about 19 minutes before it starts. 19 minutes to basically, see what's going on. If you guys could do me a solid, can you guys give me a sound check? I'm going to make sure I'm not using any headphones currently at this moment. And yeah, I just want to make sure that, the audio from my PC is not feedbacking into the mic. So just let me know if the audios are sounding okay, if they're sounding decent. I will turn my camera on here in a little bit for right now. So just kind of setting things up. I do have the event on my laptop just to the right of me. And I have the volume down on that, so that way none of the Apple stuff is on. I do have closed captioning on for that, so I can read what they're saying, kind of describe what I'm seeing on set. Sometimes I just wish that Apple wouldn't be so restrictive about this. I mean, if you want more people to really kind of get hype for your products, you got to understand that some people have their favorite content reviewers on YouTube, and they want to see them react to it live. So, I mean, why not? Anyways, down below you guys see the QR code for the merch for the t-shirt. Is a limited t-shirt brought back. So if you guys want to copy one, go for it. Anyways, yeah, so as you're coming in, say hi in the chat. Don't be afraid to. If you're on the TikTok side, do apologize. Restream is not set up to show me TikTok comments, so I don't see any comments on the TikTok side. But if you guys want to jump in on the YouTube side to post comments and interactions and stuff and whatnot, link is in my profile on TikTok. You guys can come to YouTube and subscribe and post comments, interact with me during this event. If you guys are watching it yourselves, it's like a watch along party, I guess you can say. But really, it's just my live reaction to it. So a couple of things that we've been seeing over the past couple of months. There's not been too much hype behind the iPhone 17 for a very good reason. To be honest with everybody, the reason that there's not been so much is because the last released iPhone, there are a lot of people who felt that they were kind of ripped off by Apple. Okay, not saying I'm the one saying it, just there are people who have expressed that. A lot of things haven't really been going in Apple's favor in the last couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this time around this year with the release of the iPhone 17. What we're also getting is rumored that, the iPhone 17 Air, what's going to make this phone unique and special to the Apple lineup. We're about to find out today, as everything will be solidified with them announcing the iPhones that's being released, right? So we have the iPhone 17, the iPhone 17 Pro Series, the iPhone 17 Air. We're also getting AirPods Pro 3, and we're going to see what's kind of different with that. I'm pretty sure they're going to boast a little bit more about Apple Intelligence, a sector in the mobile tech industry that warrants attention, right? With Gemini, getting more advanced and having more features and things you can do with the, the latest released Google Pixel. You have Samsung kind of breaking away from Google and really kind of like focusing on Galaxy AI, and so they've bought out several companies that dabble with AI and are using them to develop their own AI. So we'll see where Samsung kind of goes with that, right? AI is the future. AI is where everything is going. It's not just in smartphones, it's also in real world use cases. A lot of jobs are being redirected to AI control rather than having a human person running it. So, AI, so powerful as it is today, can eliminate quite a bit of white collar work, like a medical office specialist, call center work, data entry work. AI can pretty much replace a lot of that. And I think they said like AI can replace 20 to 40% of blue collar work. So, AI is definitely where this new battleground is, right? For so many years, it was about design and hardware features, right? Displays, QWERTY keyboards, if not, just things that made it stand out, right? Like, you remember the LG Wing? The thing that kind of looked like an ectoplasma reader from Ghostbusters. I mean, that was the battlefront then, and then it became a battlefront on photography. It was like all about what these cameras can do in smartphones and stuff, and then it became the battle of the refresh rate on displays. Who had the best refresh rate and how smooth was the fluidity of maneuvering through apps. And yeah, there's been so many fronts, and now it's AI. Now AI definitely is it, and Apple Intelligence has been a leg behind its competition. So we're going to find out today, here in the next 14 minutes, if Apple has rectified that. So yeah, what up, B-Tech? You're heading to work. Catch the replay, bro. Catch the replay. I'm pretty sure, because I don't know. People guess. Do you guys think VTech is going to upgrade to the iPhone 17? We're going to find out. He just got the iPhone 16e on Boost Mobile, and then recently picked up the Pixel 10 Pro. So we'll see if VTech gets the iPhone 17. If you're going to ask me if I'm getting the iPhone 17, no. I have no desire to get the iPhone 17 or any of that. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Pixel fanboy. I mean, people can say that. You're a Pixel fanboy, that's why you're not going to get the iPhone. Like, no, that's not really the reason why. It's my argument for people who's just like, why wouldn't you upgrade to the iPhone 17? It would have to be what a lot of iPhone fans have stated to me for a long time. So if people are like, first of all, I don't know why anyone would even care what I buy. But if you care what I buy and it bugs you I'm not getting the iPhone 17 and you're a fan of the iPhone, well, you just set the premise of the reason why I shouldn't upgrade to the iPhone 17. A lot of people have told me over the years that iPhones are so good, they last such a long time. I still have an iPhone 12. This is my daily driver iPhone. This is my daily driver iPhone. So it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And speaking of which, I do need to charge this. I'm going to throw it up here on the wireless charger. So yeah, I upgraded to my Pixel 10. This is my main daily driver Android device. iPhone 12 is my main daily driver iOS device. I gave my Galaxy S21 to my daughter, so she has that now. I have, my Nothing Phone 1 in my drawer over there, as well as my OnePlus 9. Oh, that's in my, in my drawer. So, you probably will upgrade to the iPhone 17. You're 4 generations behind. I think the thing with Apple products, and people will kind of attest to this. It's like a lot of, like a lot of the things that they do bring to the table. I mean, obviously, yeah, you want to upgrade to the latest ones, right? They kind of made that permanent with the iPhone 15 when they kind of made it clear to everybody else, that had anything older than the iPhone 15 that Apple Intelligence wouldn't really be on their devices, right? Because of the processor chip that they had, right? So like my iPhone 12 doesn't utilize Apple Intelligence and will never utilize Apple Intelligence at all. You know, according to Apple, they do want you to kind of upgrade. They want you to move forward with upgrading to a new device. So click the screen here. My dog is over there listening, so she's been barking for like, well, she's on and off barking. I do gotta get me one of those well, I gotta get a, what do you call it? A super glue, because the sticker on this tab thing doesn't work all that great. Like this is a magnetic mount to mount a phone with a magnetic case. So I'm actually gonna mount this on my computer desk so that way I have like a upward view, because it can hold my phone. I'm still kind of nervous about it, but it should be able to mount the phone and hold it. Just to be able to like magnetically hold it, and then, you know, yeah. So anyhow, I need to get one of those later on today. So I'm gonna have that done. I should have actually had it where I had the camera behind me going this way. You guys can't see like all the light show going on at my desk. I mean, I probably could if I wake up my my screen and then I turn it around, and then you guys can kind of see the color display go through. Very faint because I use my smartphone as my webcam. So anyways, yeah, it is what it is on that. It has not started yet, so if you're just joining in now, I appreciate you guys for joining in. I'm waiting. We got 8 minutes and 15 seconds and counting until the event starts. And like I said, I am not going to be showing anything from Apple on the live stream. I'm just going to be watching it and describing what I see, reacting to it, telling you guys what I think. Apple is very meticulous about you sharing their live stream. So I mean, if you want to see it for yourself, if you have like, you know, a tablet, if you're on a computer, you know, maybe you can watch me on the phone, like, you know, on your smartphone, and watch the event on your computer, whatever the case may be, if you want to see like the visuals. But other than that, like I have my laptop set up right here to the right. You guys can't see it, but it's right here. It's docked right here. And then I'm just going to be like looking at it and telling you guys what I think. I think the challenge for this is if I make it through the entire event. And it's not because Apple is boring. It's because I am kind of tired and I'm not feeling well. Like my throat has been burning all morning, but I'm still going to do this. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'll do the best that I can for this event. So I went to Wendy's for breakfast this morning, and Wendy's has the orange cream Coke. So because I don't drink a lot of soda, I decided I would treat myself. So this small cup of Coke is like my treat. Since I'm not feeling good. My wife's already heading to work. My son doesn't get out of school until 2:30. So we got time. By the way, if you guys like pro wrestling and you guys did not catch the Deathlock podcast episode from yesterday, please do so. We have a banger of a podcast episode yesterday. It was a lot of fun to do. So definitely go check that out. The iPhone SE3 might be time to upgrade. Maybe you're using an iPhone SE3. It may be. It just depends on you. Like I've always told people, like upgrade if you feel like what you're using is obsolete. Like if the keyword there to most people that need to understand is if you feel that your phone is obsolete. I know people like, I mean, I'm still using an iPhone 12. I know that Apple Intelligence has some cool things going for it, but you know, Apple Intelligence is half baked. So I'm not in a rush to have a phone with Apple Intelligence. Now, when Apple Intelligence is like, you know, full-fledged, full-baked, ready for prime time, then I may consider upgrading to a device that supports Apple Intelligence so I'll be able to use it. And then finally be able to do what I wanted to do, which is compare Apple Intelligence to Gemini. I would love to make that comparison sometime down the road, just so people can see You know, because even though like it is AI, you can see the importance of a company's direction when it comes to AI and stuff like that. Everyone's starting to go live for the Apple event. Spencer just went live right now. So for those that are in here watching right now, I appreciate you guys for taking a chance on me and watching with me or listening to what I have to say about the event. Yeah, Apple disabled the chat in the live stream. So when you're watching the live stream event with Apple, you can't chat. So I don't know why. I don't know why Apple does that. I mean, maybe because they want everyone to primarily focus on the show and not so much as like, you know, what Apple's doing. Apple Intelligence is intellectually disabled right now. Yeah, well, we'll see if they made any advancements in Apple Intelligence with this upcoming keynote. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. You know, being a Pixel fan is not me hating on everything that Apple does. That's not, you know, what my perception is when it comes to being a fan of Google Pixels. It's, you know, liking what I like and then appreciating the competition, raising the bar for more competition, because competition is key. Like, I'm not the type of person that would sit there and say, I wish Apple was erased off the face of the earth. Because if that happened, then everything about Pixels would totally suck because they wouldn't have competition to drive them to be more innovative. I mean, innovation is, to some people's minds, pretty much dead, right? I don't feel that way. I feel like innovation is looked at in a very different way by these companies. When it comes to, you know, designing phones and hardware, I think they have hit the glass ceiling when it comes to smartphones. But when it comes to, you know, software and all those types of things, I feel like that, you know, there's still way more advancements to go when it comes to these devices. So I just wish that there were more players in the game, right? Google, Samsung, and Apple are like the three major, you know, kind of like what we have today, right? Three major carriers. It wouldn't surprise me if the three major carriers started to back one particular brand of phone, right? Like if they were to back Google Pixels, like if Verizon backed Pixels and AT&T backed iPhones and T-Mobile, you know, backed Samsung, you know, that would be so totally weird. But that's like, we're like very much left with like very low options. And that does suck. That absolutely does suck. So I wish we had more options. Siri now can restart or power down by voice command. That's nice. That's nice. I just activated it on my iPhone 12. But that's cool. Hey, you know, just because it's to some people might feel like that's a small advancement. I mean, it's still advancement. Every little step counts for something, right? So, I mean, shout out to Siri for that. Trying to make sure it didn't activate Siri on my phone. And later on, I got to finish up recording video comparing the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 10. So the first Pixel device with the Tensor G1 is going to go head to head with the Pixel 10. More of just like my thoughts to see if there's a lot of things that the Pixel 10 can do that the Pixel 6 can do, is kind of what I'm trying to show with that video. So be expecting that. Maybe a late release today, maybe this afternoon I might release it, or if anything, I might release it tomorrow, since tomorrow's a short day for my kids. So, you know, I like hanging out with my kiddos. Oh, we got something happening. An error has occurred. Refresh to play. So they must have started some sort of live countdown. There we go. That's the Apple logo, and it's glowing through like almost kind of like what the Predator sees, like a heat wave, like heat signatures, right? And you can kind of feel like it has that liquid glass-esque effect on the Apple logo. So there we go. There we go. Well, we're starting now. Let's see. Closed captions on. It's in English. All right, let me full screen this. There we go. Oh, sorry, I shook my desk. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. Apple event. Apple event for sure. Kind of move my microphone though. See if I can just move it this way and then down this way. Maybe right here. So then that way I can kind of like angle myself to look at the laptop. Let me know if the audio is good. Can I get one more sound check before we start here? Because we got 1 minute till it starts. Someone just let me know if the audio sounds fine. The background music is too loud or too low. Let me know. I'll make some adjustments. I'll try to talk as much as possible. There might be some points, because I know me, I'm such a nerd when it comes to tech, that if they start talking about something very interesting, that I might just get too zoned in. Like I said, QR code at the bottom. You can copy one of the Team Pixel Nexus shirts if you want one. I'm going to be removing that QR code here in a second. There we go. Yeah, and then, at any time, if you guys appreciate, the live stream, you guys appreciate my video content or anything like that, you want to leave me a tip, right up there is a QR code. You can leave me a tip, Venmo. And yeah, anything helps. 10 cents, 5 cents, 50 cents, $1, doesn't matter. But you can tip me up there if you guys want. Yo, what's up, Michael? Georgia, San Joaquin Valley in the house. Here we go. It's starting. This is kind of like if you had the mask of a predator and you were hunting it. It says Apple event. That's it. Here we go. Opening intros. So they're playing the music, Neon One Shinjuku. So design is not just what it looks like. Okay, I missed that, but they put a quote from Steve Jobs, so that was a nice touch. They're showing the HomePods, one singular camera, so I guess that's reference to the iPhone 17 Air. I don't know. Well, they're showing a lot of their Apple products, so I guess this will have to culminate to all the things that they have going for them: iPhone, iPad, Mac, MacBook, Apple Watch, Apple TV, HomePods. So it's all their products that is in their ecosystem. They have to remind everybody that they have a pretty solid ecosystem, and this is why you shouldn't leave them for anything new that might have captured your attention. All right, B-Tech, have a good day at work, bro. Catch the replay later, man. You have all kinds of things like health. They just made reference to the blue bubble messaging, AirPods, MagSafe. Oh man, they're really pulling it out. They're really, in this opening segment, they're reminding everybody about their ecosystem. How long is the event? I'm gonna go on a good whip and save about an hour and a half. It just depends, how to do it. So here they are at Silicon Valley at Apple headquarters. Here comes Tim Cook walking out the front door. He's walking and he stops. One thing I noticed about Tim Cook, he's very bow-legged. But I don't ever really see pictures of him riding a horse, so what's really going on here? Anyways, Tim Cook's opening up the show. He's giving speeches about, Apple, why Apple's relevance is still important, why you should care, why you should stick with your ecosystem if you're a current user. They're, talking about the Apple way, philosophies that, Apple has carried throughout so many years. AirPods, Apple Watch. He's just listing a whole bunch of products that Apple has. And by right, he should, because this year has been a year where people who are Apple fans are slightly interested in trying something new. So that could be detrimental to Apple. So of course they have to remind people about their ecosystem. And I think that's, from a standpoint, oh man, Tim, you're looking rough, man. Yeah, of course people age, so Tim Cook's going to look older. I get that, but it was shocking. From the last keynote a year ago to now, definitely can see a change in age in him. So they're talking about their stores, so Apple stores and possible redesigns of their stores. So there's some outside stuff of product reviews that he's talking about. So major changes to Apple. Of course, this kind of correlates with some of the deals that Apple has made with the help of permissions from the Department of Justice, from our government, from our president, that people were kind of mad at him for, but that's different subject, different topic. And he's talking about AirPods right now and how they're truly magical experience. Of course, spatial audio and all those kinds of things, easily to pair with your Apple products, right? Just open the AirPods and any Apple product will basically read that there's an AirPod and connect to it, right? You can use AirPods as a hearing aid to help you hear things better instead of having to buy you a hearing aid and then all that stuff. You can actually use your AirPods for that. And so, I mean, that's nice, right? Trying to make people's lives easier is the whole point of this mobile technology. But you also have to have some form of restraint, right? So, can't always just be on your phone. You got to get out there and breathe some air and touch some grass. Houston, we have a problem. I finished my treat. The orange cream Coca-Cola, gone. Anyway, so they're cutting into a little segment piece here. Nice little dancing done by some dancers, just to kind of emphasize the AirPods. So breakthrough audio performance, entirely new capabilities is what they're focused on with AirPods Pro 3. So they right out the gate, they started with the AirPods Pro 3. They haven't even touched into the iPhones yet. Obviously, that's going to be the pierre de resistance. So it's going to be the entree course of this whole ordeal. I'm pretty sure they're going to touch in with Apple Watch. They're going to touch in with other things too, things that they have coming up. So, quick poll question for everybody that's watching the live stream right now. How many of you guys are watching on your iPhone right now? And if you are, tell me what iPhone are you currently using? And if you're interested in upgrading to any of the new 17s. Well, right now they are still discussing the AirPods Pro 3. So they're talking about, the multi-port acoustic architecture with the AirPods Pro. Talking about the flow of sound, the type of speaker drivers that is built inside to kind of, replicate and emulate, rich quality sounding, deep bass with some nice clarities. Overall, just, not having a stock box speaker inside, some little earbuds. Active noise cancellation. So they can talk in their native language and yeah. So when you want to talk back to them, you just speak in your native language and hold your phone so that way they can hear and read your response that's converted into their language. Samsung Galaxy A15 5G running Android 15 One UI 7. Okay. I mean, what was the point of that? Like, I mean, are you like, talking about the phone that you have and that you're content with it? And that's cool. If it's running great for you, you love it, that's great. Thanks for pointing that out. Joys of San Joaquin Valley. But most people need to understand this. When I do things like this, I am in no way telling you guys to buy an iPhone or buy a Pixel or anything like that. This is my live reaction to it. I really don't care what people buy. You buy what you want to buy because it's your money. Yeah, don't ever feel like that you can't, like what you want to like. At least with me and in my live streams, you'll never get that from me. I will never make anyone feel like that that they have to buy something. First of all, with these companies, I don't make any money. I have no brand deals with them. So, and even if I have brand deals, I will let you guys know. And then you still have to determine and make that for yourself. The phone that you're using. Cool. Yeah, Galaxy A15 is pretty decent. Processor chip, I might be saying something else about that processor chip when I put it through my paces. But for the most part, doing basic stuff, that Galaxy A15 should handle it no problems at all. So now they're going to be talking about fitness. Here we go. Yes, more people work out with their AirPods in their ear. It's everywhere. I go to the gym and that's like the number one thing that's always missing. Someone was working out so hard and so focused they realized that the right pod had fell out of their ear somewhere. They don't know where it is. They built a heart rate monitor in the AirPods Pro. So there is a small heart rate monitor so I'm talking about just like things that you can do to easily get your workout started with voice commands. The little heart rate monitor can track, your heart rate as you're going for a brisk walk or you're going for a run. Of course, it talks to you, so it makes you feel good about your moment of exercise as it's counting your steps, counting your heart rate. And then, you earn little badges now with the Apple Health workout services. So just ways to inspire you to live from their gym room. Back to Kate, who I guess is the lead on the project for the AirPods Pro 3. So we're going to get longer battery life with these things. Apparently, now it's going to be 8 hours on a single charge. With, of course, the active noise cancellation, the hearing aid, you get up to 10 hours. I didn't see that because the captions were in the way. If that was the case or not. Yeah, so IP57, dust and water resistance on the AirPods Pro 3. Be an hearing aid, live translation, sound quality has been good, heart rate monitor now built into the AirPods. So if you want to run AirPods, you don't want to have an Apple Watch on, you can not have an Apple Watch and still track your heart rate. More people walk around with AirPods in their ears all day long. It's like the craziest thing. I even knew someone that worked at a call center that had to bring in their own specific type of headphones that had like deep ear cuffs because they actively wore their AirPods all day and wanted the cup to go over them so it wasn't pushing the AirPods into their ear canal deeper. Craziest thing. I can't. If you guys haven't noticed, I have many different types of wireless earbuds. I can't go a whole day with them just being in my ear with no music playing. So now we're touching base with Apple Watch. So they're going to talk about why millions of people love the Apple Watch. It's really cool. So yes, Apple Watches have some detection for some serious health issues like high heart rate, and if you've taken a fall and you're unresponsive, it can get SOS sent out for emergency services to come to you and find you. So I mean, there are reasons to have smartwatches these days. Those are some very good ones. Yeah. So now they're going to be doing what they've done the last 4 years, I think 4 or 5 years. They're going to read you guys some of the testimony emails that they've gotten from customers who have been, who had their lives were saved because of their Apple Watch. So they have a young man who's talking about his battle with his mental health and how he started going for walks and runs, trying to just help live a healthier lifestyle. Believe it or not, like some people will make jokes about it, but this is actually like a really good thing. Like our species has gone into this newfound new age lifestyle. Everything is digital, everything is computer. I mean, when you have people going on social media with slogans like "get outside and touch some grass," that's how far fallen you've known that the human race has become. We have to be told to go outside and touch the quintessential thing that covers a good portion of this planet: grass. Sad in almost every other way. So seeing people's testimonies, seeing people talking about their health changing, them using things like the Apple Watch, them using things like the fitness app within the iPhones, the fitness app in Google Pixels, the fitness app in Samsung, and the fitness app in other Android devices to help them achieve different things. I mean, it's always a beautiful story, regardless of what the case may be. Like, put it this way, I tell people that I play Pokemon Go. I got teased about it so many times, right? Since people are like now talking about their testimonies about what their experiences is with Apple Health and the Apple Watch. But like, I play Pokemon Go. I'm type 2 diabetic, so like I have to fight with a lot of things. I have to be careful with a lot of things in my life. And I play a game that is fun to play for me. It gets me out there. It gets me active, gets me roaming around. My daughter, she plays. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds. Like, technology has a lot of cool things going on for it. I know we do have to kind of like limit ourselves to the things that we do, how much time that we spend on electronics. We definitely have to start setting some boundaries. My kids have these boundaries. They don't like it, because maybe like some of their friends let them know, like, hey, I can game on Fortnite all night. Not my kids. My kids, they will go to bed at a decent time. They will get 10 hours of sleep, so they're ready for the day at school. So they're ready for tackle whatever they need to tackle. I think we have to get back to a place of balance. With technology, everything is pretty much off balance right now. That's my opinion when it comes to technology today. All right, so we're back at Tim Cook, and he's talking about the Apple Watch. And after hearing all those testimonies, people who have fell in dire situations, nearly was unalived, and the Apple Watch saved them. Of course, they're going to be a little emotional and give that testimony for other people who may be potential newcomers to the Apple ecosystem, reasons why you should choose Apple. And they're going to choose Apple for that reason, because Apple saved their life. It's not a joke. It's not a, it's not a bad thing. It's cool. I wish them all the best. Okay, so now they're talking about the design of the Apple Watch, the ceramic coating on the outer glass that bonds with the display. Now it's 2 times more scratch resistant. That's nice, because my Apple Watch has a gigantic crack on it. I can still use it, it still responds, but the display is just so totally messed up. Series 11 now has a new 5G modem and antenna architecture inside of it. So the Apple Watch has 5G. That's pretty big, right? Because I believe the Pixel Watch 4 is still LTE only. What up, Nguyen Dang? How's it going, man? So yeah, Apple Series 11 smartwatch with 5G connectivity. There we go. Of course, you got that liquid glass that they've been touting with iOS 26. So they got to talk about that there. They definitely got to talk about that there. It could check all types of things: resting heart rate, respiratory, breathing, ECG, mindfulness, cycle tracking, state of mind tracking, low cardio. So a lot of things that with the health wise, the Apple Watch basically just tracks, and you can get a digital footprint readout. So I was talking about heart health with the Apple Watch. They said that they achieved their next steps with high blood pressure, hypertension. Okay. 1.3 billion adults impacted worldwide. High blood pressure is a silent killer, often, representing no symptoms at all whatsoever. And so now the watch is able to kind of track into that and let you know if you have possible hypertension, high blood pressure. Definitely, yeah. We live in the Southwest states. Southside time is limited until winter. I mean, yeah, but it's like one of the things that I've been telling people here in my city, here in Phoenix. I honestly feel like that Phoenix should be the first city to go full dark. And what I mean by that is that, yes, time stays the same here in Phoenix. However, the active life should actually be nighttime. So from 6 p.m. would be our dawn until 7 or 8 a.m. And then everyone goes inside during the hot hours and sleeps. Work schedules would be from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m., something like that, right? We would be the first vampiric hour city. But that's just wishful thinking. And by the way, I know somebody may be like, oh my God, bro, you're vaping in your video. Look, I get it. You know what? But vaping is a lot better than smoking cigarettes. And don't be making fun of my bad habits, because everybody's got bad habits. People dig their butts in public and not realize that they're pulling a wedge out where 28 people can see it. Okay, so don't talk to me about bad habits. Everybody's got them. All right. If it offends, it offends. Find a creator who doesn't offend you. But I'm from a very bad generation. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 11 years old. I was fully addicted to cigarettes when I was 12. I've been a 2-pack-a-day smoker from the age of 25 all the way till 34. 34, I quit smoking cigarettes. I switched to vaping. It's been a better choice, better option. And yeah, and I don't believe the hype on the news and stuff like that. Oh my God, you're vaping, you're breathing in metal. No, you're not. You're not breathing in metal. But of course, they want people to go back to cigarettes because, of course, cigarettes was paying billions in a fine that they were willing to pay to the U.S. government. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Yeah, so vaping is not a bad thing to me. So I just want to point that out before someone says it. I tell you now, bro, your vaping is another part of your video that I don't even realize you're doing outside of you blowing the smoke. Some people have commented and have pointed that out, and I'm just like, well, okay, I get it. Maybe you don't like it. I'm not trying to tell people they have to accept it or like it. Thank God this is live streaming, right? I'm not blowing it into your home, so your home is still protected and safe. But I just, I always find it weird when people try to tell me how I'm supposed to live my life, and it's like, absolutely nothing about my past or any dumb decisions that I've made in my past to even pass judgment and tell me how I should live my life. So I always got to point that out, because the last time I made a video when I was talking about what was happening with John Prosser and the lawsuit, that was the most comments I got was why are you holding a vape mod in your hand talking about this? Why do you guys care? Listen to the news, not what I'm holding. So I just figured I would point that out. Somebody's going to say it. They're going to say it in the comments. I'm going to get the comments and I'm going to reply to them. Apple Watch SE. So now we're talking about the Apple Watch SE. It's their most affordable. So at least they're kind of doing that. It'd be cool if Google did that, right? With the Pixel Watch 4 XL and the Pixel Watch 4, right? If the 4, well, I mean, kind of is. It's $100 less. I just wish, like, maybe like they repurposed the Pixel Watch 3 and made it like a special series or something like that, and dumbed it down in price a little bit. That would have been cool, but then of course that would be too Apple-esque, and everyone would have pointed them out for that. With the S10, the SE, blah, 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 I missed that whole part. Can easily control. SE already has important features like heart rate notification and fall detection. So you have those things. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like the high blood pressure reader or any of that stuff. So you can't get like a readout of your BP. It won't alert you if you're possibly with hypertension. So yeah. Like the world, according to Briggs, would say being offended is not a skill. Yeah. I don't know. Just some people like today. I mean, that's like the norms of society today with this younger generation, these young adults. Is I'm 43 years old. If you guys haven't guessed it or haven't figured it out, I'm 43 years old. So this newfound generation of their ideology that they can somehow dictate how other people should live, it's not something that's normal for me. I find that strange that people care too much what other people do. And that's the reason why a lot of people are complaining about not being successful. And it's like, it's common sense. If you're complaining you're not successful, but you're too busy worried about what somebody else's lifestyle is, you're not focused on your own lifestyle, how can you be successful if you're not looking at your own road pathway to success? You're too concerned about what the next person's doing. That's a habit I think that, most people would become successful if they would just actually stop doing. All right, we're going back to Eugene. Okay, so big key takeaway with the Apple Watch Series 11. 5G connectivity. Now, we don't know if it's millimeter wave. I doubt it. It'll probably be like low band 5G connectivity. I'll have to look more into specifications after the keynote and see, but yeah, your smartwatch has, Apple Pay. Oh, here we go. Apple Watch Ultra 3. Here we go. And it looks like the default color band for the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is this kind of lime green. What is it, Apple? Are you just like, Google had, jade and lemongrass, so let's do lime green on our Apple Watch Ultra 3? Like, largest display ever in an Apple Watch. Killer battery in it, so you can have always on display on. Battery is not really affected by the AOD, so you're good there. Got these new faces that dynamically show points of interest in relations to you. Got all the health active benefits with the workout app and everything else. More than likely, it's going to have the BP and the hypertension, check. So you'll have all those things. You're just going to have like a nice beefier size display, a nice well-rounded put together body for the watch itself. And of course, like, the watch bands and stuff like that. Oh, satellite. Of course, satellite is becoming a thing. This is why EchoStar sold Spectrum to SpaceX and Starlink. Starlink and EchoStar partnering up. And yeah, I will be talking about that later on this week. I did drop a couple of videos talking about Boost Mobile and the sale of its Spectrum. Now we're going to be talking about this possible founded partnership between SpaceX and EchoStar with Starlink. Because that's what EchoStar wanted to do. They wanted to build a D2D network for Boost Mobile customers. And now this may be found in the form of a partnership with Starlink. And if that's what's going to happen, then, yeah. So be on the lookout for that video later on this week. I still got more video coverage with the Pixel 10 too. Like I said, I'm going to be working on later on comparison between the Pixel 6, which has the first gen tensor, and the Pixel 10 with the 5th gen tensor. And we'll talk about that. I like that lime green watch band that they're showing here. There's a blue one, like a Velcro strap. Okay. Oh, they got these the Hermes collection silicone type wristbands that have like these little punch holes in it for air to get through, so your wrist is not uncomfortable with the watch on. 42 hours of battery life on this thing, fast charging. It's a big update to the most advanced Apple Watch. Now they're taking it back to Stan. And so that's their all-new lineup for the Apple Watch. From the Ultra 3, the Series 11, to the SE 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dish sold Boost Spectrum to AT&T. Was my understanding to the situation. Boost sold it sold most of its 3.45 gigahertz spectrum, which is the N77 DoD. It sold most of that to AT&T, as well as some of its other low band and mid band spectrum. Now, as far as their AWS4 and their PCSH S-band, they sold that to Starlink. This is why Boost announced that it wasn't going to be the fourth carrier anymore. It was going to be a hybrid. More than likely because they have this founded partnership, which is strange because the founded partnership between Starlink and EchoStar really kind of makes waves between the partnership that Starlink had with T-Mobile. So now T-Mobile should be scared. Because T-Mobile had this partnership with Starlink. This is why you had that SOS satellite connectivity for messaging and for phone, messaging mostly. Eventually it was supposed to advance and bring phone calls and stuff when you're out in rural America. But that's the whole point of EchoStar and their vision of direct to device. And what was it in 2024? EchoStar, was it EchoStar? No, it was SpaceX and Starlink launched a bunch of satellites into creating their satellite constellation, which Elon calls cell site towers. All right, here we go. We're getting into the iPhone 17. Okay, so a lot of what their user interface demoing with this quick vignette of the iPhone 17, very similar to Material 3 Expressive from Android. So it looks like a lot of their app services and whatnot are gonna have like this color link up across apps, across widgets, and everything like that. That's Material 3 Expressive right there. iPhone 17, beautiful, more durable. So it comes in green, white, green, silver, black, blue, and purple. So you got, they listed the names, lavender, mist, and whatever they call the other ones. 6.3-inch display, thinner bezels, because they know that they're just going to use language that they know that everyone kind of makes a big deal about. ProMotion on the 17. So you got 120 hertz refresh on the iPhone 17, not the Pro models only, but the 17. So it can, and it fluctuates for power efficiency. So it can, it can be as low as 1 hertz. It can go as high as 120 hertz. So for most people that would compare that to the Pixel 10, might find that strange because the Pixel 10 goes from 60 to 120. The Pro Pixel 10 can go from 1 hertz to 120 hertz. Okay, it's got 3,000 nits of peak brightness. So they're coming out swinging with the iPhone 17 here. Basically bringing things that they've noticed and seen Pixel and Samsung doing, Apple is now doing. Do I care? Am I going to make fun of them? No, I don't give a crap if they were late to the game with it. The point is that Apple fans can enjoy these things now. Ceramic Shield 2 is supposed to be 3 times more durable, more stronger. So yeah, I guess, putting your phone in your pocket with your keys and it shouldn't come out all stuffed up and scratched, right? So the material in itself is bonded to the glass display for added more durability. So that, and it's got an anti-reflective coating too as well. So that's going to be easy on the eyes and things like that, reducing glare and distractions or any of that type of stuff. So big ups on Apple for that. Nice changes to the iPhone 17. You don't have to buy the Pro model. You can just get the iPhone 17 if those things matter to you. You got the A19 processor chip, the 3nm processor built by Apple directly from Apple. So yeah, let's see what they have here. So it looks like, yeah, they've got the promotion always on display. It has improved neural engine. So we'll see how that correlates to Apple Intelligence. So 16 core neural engine. They're not saying exactly like what they're clocked at or anything like that. So I don't have those numbers for you guys. Okay, so it's a 6-core CPU with their latest performance and efficiency cores to make what? The iPhone 17 responsive while enabling great battery life. So, okay, so there's just kind of the distinguishing, right? You got 5-core GPU for visual graphics. So they're literally saying like, the iPhone 17 is 20% faster than the 16 and so on and so forth. Okay, that's cool. They're saying it's incredible for gaming on the iPhone. I'm not a very big stickler for gaming on your smartphones. A lot of the games that I play is either on my Pixelbook or on my PC. Not really on my phone. Like the only game on my phone that I play is Pokemon Go. Because I am not carrying around a Pixelbook Go to play Pokemon Go much. Yeah. Apple Intelligence, here we go. ChatGPT styles and images, Siri product knowledge, image wand, rewriting and writing tools, creating Genmoji. So they're talking about iOS 26. So yeah, you can do some visual changes on there using AI, Apple Intelligence. That's cool. Live translations. I guess that's going to be like in FaceTime, which is something that is, happening with Google Meets. They got their Apple Lock privacy. All-day battery life on the iPhone 17. With ProMotion, iPhone 17 gets up, to 8 more hours of video playback time. Okay. Oh, then the iPhone 16. Okay, we got fast 50% charging. Okay, so we got I guess a fast charging going on. 10 minutes of charge gives you up to 8 hours. So we got fast charging on the iPhone 17. So a lot of big jumps with the iPhone 17. This is good. So if you're on an iPhone 15, this is the update that you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for this update. You wanted faster charging. You wanted, better efficiency from the processor chip in itself. You wanted ProMotion display. They got, what is it going on? 48 megapixel Fusion main camera and a 12 megapixel 2x telephoto is what you get. Did the iPhone 16 have an ultra wide, or was their secondary camera also a telephoto? I don't remember. Someone tell me in the comments. If the iPhone 16 had a main wide-angle shooter and an ultra-wide shooter, then this time around with the iPhone 17, they have made it a main 48-megapixel main wide-angle shooter and a 12-megapixel telephoto. Why did they do that? Well, obviously, they're not going to add a third sensor onto the base iPhone 17 because that's why they want you to get the Pro model to have 3 sensors. Whereas Google has said to us, hey, we'll just give it to you in your base model. Of course, my Pixel 10 has a 48 megapixel main shooter. I believe it's a 16 megapixel ultra wide or 13 megapixel ultra wide. I think it's one of the two. I saw the telephoto. I think it's a 13.8 megapixel on the Pixel 10. I could be wrong. I don't memorize all these things like I used to as an encyclopedia. With old age, you kind of lose memory. But point is, I don't have to get the Pro to have 3 sensors on my phone. So I know like someone who's a big fan of Apple is going to tell me to shut up on that. It's like, who cares? I don't care. Love the type of phone that you want. If you are a Apple fan, feel free to geek out now in the comments. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Like, this is your moment. Today is your day because you guys are getting in what I'm already considering to be, in my opinion, a worthy upgrade from the iPhone 15. Right, the iPhone 16, most people would not consider it to be a worthy upgrade. This is. The Pro models is a waste now. The base models seem really good now. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're exactly right. It looks like, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Turning do not disturb on an iPad does not affect your iPhone. Oh, I guess not. So now you can tap into expand the field of view and rotate from portrait. Oh, so you snap the photo and you can have it in portrait, or you can change up like how it's cropped within the viewfinder of the camera app. That's pretty nice. That's helpful, right? Because you can just easily, switch it up and change it without having to go into settings to do that. You can do that right from the viewfinder. Hey, Google, take a cue from that. Put it in the Android camera app. I would love that. Oh, Gemini's listening to me. So video calling is more optimized now. That's nice, right? People want a nice, clear visual view with all the treatments of making it just feel like you're right in there with that person in that video call. That's the point. And it still baffles me that video calling is not the norms today in 2025. Like, we've had this capability for so many years and people still prefer traditional methods. The reason how I know, for me, when my family's calling me, my family calls me with video calls. They don't call me on regular phone calls. So if it's a regular phone call coming in, I know it's business or spam. If it's my video calling ringing, it's my family. And it's always great because I can always see if my kids are okay. If they call me on their lunch at school, I can always tell if they're having a good day or a bad day. They'll lie to me and they'll tell me they're having a good day because they don't want me to be too concerned. But, they could be being picked on by somebody and they're just feeling like crap. And I can see it in their eyes. That's why I like video calling. If I call my dad because I want to say hello to him, because he's up there in age, I don't have to believe if he's BSing me on the call, telling me everything's fine with him, but he's not actually feeling well. I can see him, so I can definitely tell if there's something wrong. Video calling is the future, people. Start using it. You will not regret it. That's something I will ask you guys to use, is video calling. Video calling is just awesome. Yes, I know it uses a lot of data, but this is why mobile phone service providers need to step their game up already. Here we go. This is the iPhone 17 Air. It is super skinny. I mean, they just made it seem like it was floating off into space. Like, that's how light this thing is. It's like it defies gravity on Earth. How much am I gonna have to pay for this? What part of my leg or my body do I need to cut off and sell just to afford this thing? Because don't get me wrong, it looks nice. It's nice thin profile. So I feel like this thing's gonna break in my hand. Of course, they're gonna say it's made from some very durable materials to withstand all the beating. It looks like a Google Pixel with that top visor with only one camera sensor on this thing. Man, if you price this thing over $799, you are out your mind, Apple. You are out your mind. The most durable design yet. Of what? This is like the first of your kind to come back. I have a question for you. Do you like any of these carrier business sides of the business? Do I like any of them? No. I do not. It's hard for me too because I've worked for these companies in the past, so I know their mindset behind everything that they do. So all the cool stuff that maybe you guys will get all excited for when carriers bring this type of plan out or do this for their customers. The reason you guys don't really hear me celebrate too much with those things is because I know there's something hidden behind it. It's always been that way. People have to learn. Carriers are only interested in one thing, and that's taking the dollars out of your wallet. Once you have established that that's what they're trying to do, all else is fine. I just feel like this whole 30 gig limitations and stuff like that, because you look at other places that maybe don't have the best infrastructure as the United States, but their plans are like unlimited. Or like, Coffee, who tends to join us here on the live stream, will tell you guys like they have like different types of like carrier plans. Some carrier plans that would be like, okay, you only get 50 gigabytes of high speed data, but Facebook and Instagram, like those don't count towards your 50 gigs. Music doesn't count towards your 50 gigs. So if you're like live streaming or those things, that will count against your 50 gigs of a lot of data. but like, you get to like choose like which apps don't count against your monthly allotted data. It's so crazy that they have plans like that in like other countries, and here in the US we have nothing like that. I can't be on Google Fi and be like, okay, I got 100 gigs of high-speed data, but maybe my top 3 apps I would choose is YouTube, Instagram, and Threads, and then they would like any data traffic from that would not be counted against my monthly data. Like, they won't do anything like that. And if I had billions, believe me, if I had billions of dollars, I would create, starting out as an MVNO to get started, and build a service provider for you guys based on that premise. At the same time, using the money that I had, using my billions to start building out a network infrastructure that we can call our own. So we're not piggybacking off my competitors. And therefore, I'm not paying out the wazoo for annual license fees to access their networks. We would have our own. And then your plan would be $25 a month. You would get 50 gigs of allotted monthly data with 4 choices. So you'll have a 4 choice, a 3 choice, and a 2 choice. 2 choice, you pick 2 apps you use the most, and the data on those apps will never be counted. Same with the 3 choice, same with the 4 choice. Right? And there you have it. So starting at $25, going up to $30, and then the last plan going up to $35. Right? Unlimited talk and text. Unlimited video calling. Unlimited video calling. And unlimited phone calls, because yes, phone calls that are like, Vonner or Volt obviously use data, and that does count against your monthly data. So if it's something that you have to use like phone calling and stuff like that, why am I going to have that go against your allotted monthly data? That's the type of carrier service I would build for America. That's the reason why that, unless I have, some great like-minded philanthropists who will donate their money into me to build this thing, otherwise it's never going to happen. Unless Peter Adderton takes this idea and builds it, right? Because Mobile X just dropped a $50 unlimited plan. So you can go 25 for 30 gigs, or you can go 50 for fully unlimited. I believe. We'll talk about that later. They're talking about the A19 Pro processor right now, currently. I know I kind of like dubbed off track there. So they're talking about the 5-core GPU also as well. Let's see what we have here. AI acceleration with their neural engine. Okay. So where is Apple Intelligence at? Like, how far has it come? Carriers will see a unlocked phone as a bad investment risk on, 24 to 36 month financing contracts. Yeah, of course. And now that we're only down to 3 carriers, they can even start doing things where like they make you pay more to have a unlocked device on their network, kind of trying to like force you into going with one of the options they sell on their site and in store, and device financing through them and upgrading through them. Right? Don't put it past that carriers are not going to do that. I fully believe in the next 5 years, we're going to start seeing that if you bring an unlocked device, they're going to start charging you more. Apple's now talking about the N1 chip, obviously. So it's got Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread. Improves in areas like personal hotspot and AirDrop. They're in the, okay, so we're talking about the Apple C1 modem. So they're talking about that right now. They already have a new version that's faster, more efficient, the C1X. So it's 2 times faster than the C1. Okay. Uses 30% less energy overall. So while it is faster and stronger connectivity, it also isn't a battery drainer. But real world usage will tell the tale on that. So get ready to see a bunch of people going for the iPhone 17 Air and doing a lot of video tests to seeing just how good the iPhone 17 Air is. And if it in fact doesn't kill the battery with the new modem, the C1X. So that tells me that the Apple modem is still within its first generation history lineup, right? They're not ready to advance it to its second season of architecture build. So 2x telephoto has an update. Okay. The vibrant colors. So they're talking about like the photography over one camera sensor. So the 48 megapixel Fusion main camera that has 2x telephoto capabilities. Wait a minute. So there's two sensors in that one big sensor, and it's what, stackable? I'm gonna have to look into that to see how it goes, because it's a 48 megapixel sensor on the iPhone 17 Air, but they're talking about that there's a secondary sensor, but the only way that's gonna happen is if you have stackable sensors that intertwine with each other. And if so, and if they did Apple just revolutionize the smartphone camera sensor? Okay, so there's a 28 and a 35 millimeters. Okay. 18 megapixel selfie within the dynamic island. They're introducing a brand new feature that combines the front and rear camera. Oh, Apple beat Pixel to it. Now you can have picture-in-picture video recording. Ah! So now two phones are able to do that technically. Motorola's and iPhones. There's another important innovation that helped bring the iPhone Air. Oh, eSIM. So they're going full eSIM, right? They pioneered eSIM years ago. Okay. All right. Easier to use, better security, save space, right? Okay, got you. What is this new thing to eSIM? So if you want to use a local plan, it's easy to set up eSIM from the comfort of your home while on the road. There's no need to change physical SIM cards. If you have data from a moment to, okay. eSIM coverage is available globally thanks to extensive planning and testing with our carrier partners. Because of this, we designed iPhone Air to be eSIM only worldwide. Oh man, is the EU going to complain about this? I feel it's slowly warming up as the day progresses. I'm trying to hold out as long as I can without AC. The summer power bill is starting to get ridiculous. Yeah, I know. My electric bill is $800. I know exactly what you mean. There's adaptive power mode now with iOS 26. Intelligently conserving power to help you make it through the day. So you're getting a lot more, beefed up power towards the iPhone 17 Air. iPhone's been doing that for years now with their phones having eSIM. Yeah, but like he said, it's worldwide. So the EU made a whole big deal about that, remember? And there was a class action lawsuits out of the European Union, and they wanted physical SIMs back. They wanted what was the other thing that they wanted? They wanted to allow other browsers to have a chance, other than Chrome and some of the Apple uses Safari, and they wanted Type-C, right? So I guess if you live in Europe, and since Europe probably won't like this, iPhone 17 Air, it's only eSIM. So they're lightweight. They have some bumper cases that are polycarbonate to reinforce the phone. That's like a nice looking case for it. So they're talking about They're talking about some accessories. They got this. They got this strap that can connect to that case that makes it look like a sling bag. Oh my god! You know how many people are gonna like crack the camera, sensor on that thing just dangling off you like that, like a purse. Oh my gosh. Now it's going back to Tim. All right, so then they're gonna start talking about the iPhone 17 Pro. The iPhone 17 Air is designed for those who want performance but also want a lightweight phone, and so that's why they engineered this thing. Now they're talking about the Pro because they're talking about that their goal is to build the most pro phone that there is out there for everyone. That is the iPhone 17 Pro. Here we go. And who did they get this year? Is The Weeknd going to do a music video with their iPhone 17 Pro? Like, because we had the Jonas Brothers with the Google Pixel. Last year for the iPhone 16, we had The Weeknd shoot a music video with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I love these little segment things where like they show slow motion of the phone being engineered. It's like in this deep liquid as it's being grinded out with sanders and drill bits and everything just to showcase the intuitive engineering and building the frame of the phone in itself. And it's showing the orange color too. So like, and it's got that giant camera module visor on the top. Then Google, they like you because they built something just like you. I gotta pay a bill here, so please excuse me if you see me like kind of wandering to my phone. It's like I'm like getting messages from my wife, and I have to pay a bill, and so I'm waiting for her to tell me when. Is it me, or does the iPhone 17 Pro's side edges look a little bit more rounded, like the Pixel 8A's? Anyone else watching this? Can you guys tell me? Does it look a little rounded? Are we getting away from the box squared industrial look? Because that does not look like flat side rails. That looks a little rounded. And I'm not talking about the corners. I'm talking about the sides. The sides deeply remind me of the Pixel 8A. Well, it looks nice though. I can tell you guys that much. And yeah, they can say it's not really like a Pixel because it doesn't look like this. It's the top half, like from the bottom of my my camera bar on my Pixel 10 all the way to the top is their camera island, if you want to call it that. Let's see what they call it. It's got a bold, new, fresh look. Stolen from Pixels. I'm sorry, gotta say it. Almost like reminds me like they adapted the current Google Pixel camera bar with the Pixel 2 XL's design. But yes, they had to make it. They had to make the camera module longer and bigger because they're making the camera sensors bigger, right? We all know this. It's got a new thermal thing built inside of it. So what? Vapor cooling chamber. It moves heat away from the components. So from the processor chip, it moves the heat away, allowing the phone to maintain and regulate a good constant temperature inside to not cause any heat wear distress on any of the internal components like the processor and the modem and camera sensors and all that stuff. I wonder how much it's going to cost. 20 times durability with titanium. All right, cool, cool, cool. So far, all good things. All good things. For sure. It does look a little rounded, but now it looks a little rounded like my Pixel 10. The way that my Pixel 10 looks. Here, I'll pop my Pixel 10 out of its case. I'm at home anyway, so I really don't need the case on it. Carpeted floors. But the side rails kind of look like this on the iPhone 17 Pro. Feels good to use a phone without a case sometimes, but then I always get scared of dropping it. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like the Pixel 9a. Polycarbonate back, and I'm not too nervous about holding this in hand. Compared to holding this in hand outside with rocks, gravel, and the pavement. So they're talking about the A9 Pro processor and its neural engine processor. So yeah, they're going in on that. Need to grab my Pixel 9a, by the way. Sorry if like the connection with my device is interfering with the microphone. Let me move the microphone back a little bit. Hopefully that's not going to get in your guys' way. You won't hear any buzzing sounds like I hate when that happens. So chat. So the body is mostly a metal frame, and only a third of the back panel is actually glass. That's going to make it interesting. Is it going to be easier to do battery swaps and repairs, or is it going to make it more expensive to do it? Survey says Apple will make it more expensive to repair. Hopefully not. I would love to see the day where Apple becomes money conscious to a lot of Americans and decides to not hit them with things that are just, you know, terrible. Blah, 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 blah. Don't mind me real quick. Must pay a bill. Just got to put in all this information. Did not want to space. I wanted to do that. All three cameras on the rear are 48 megapixels, and they did that for content creators such as myself. That's awesome. We got a 48 megapixel fusion telephoto, 4x zoom at 100 millimeters. Wow. So now they're really competing with Zoom this year with devices. It's all about the zoom. So Samsung is getting a run for its money. Pixel beefed up zoom. Apple beefed up zoom. The camera wars have been reignited. This is going to get interesting. They're showing all these different photography point shoot case scenarios, whether it's black and white, grayscaled, portrait, black backgrounds with highlighted lights, skin tones. They're showing all the stuff, the focal depth and feel in photos. Like, yeah. So now we're back to how it was a couple years ago. It's gonna be about preference. Do you guys like the way that Samsung's initial camera settings are? If you like the iPhone settings, or if you like the Google Pixel settings? They're still on like the different photography. Okay, now real quick, the bill is paid. We got ProRes RAW in video recording now. Sorry about that, guys. I had to pay a bill real quick. So, yeah, I've kind of missed a lot of what was going on with the iPhone 17 Pro. Hopefully, you guys are watching it on your end. You guys saw a lot of the things that they were talking about. I believe all U.S. carriers do support eSIM at this point already, Michael. AT&T supports it, T-Mobile supports it, Verizon supports it. And then now if you're talking about like, the other carriers, like, well, not carriers, but like the other providers, like, Xfinity and all them, it's up to them to have the access. Like, they have to work with their MNO partner. Let me send this confirmation to my wife. Let's see, beautiful and functional, whatever you saw with the iPhone Airs, design, tech woven cases for the iPhone 17 Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So they have that same style case for the iPhone 17 Air, the one that makes it into a purse. Squeaky chair, I know, people. So all the leaked renders of the iPhone 17s are all true. The only one that maintains a different style is the iPhone 17 base model. Top bottom stacked camera sensors, kind of like rekindling the iPhone 10s or the iPhone 10 style. The 17 Air, which I think is ridiculous, has that long narrow bar going across, and then the 17 Pro Max. I love this ad here because they're showing this person recording. It looks like to be a tornado with their iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max. And it's catching all kinds of dirt and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't think anyone's really going to want to get their phone that dirty and muddy. I mean, is it able to take a beating from the elements of life? Probably. But yeah. The Ultimate Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro with Apple. Their best iPhone lineup ever. Like this, these are like weird statements. It's your brand new product you're just releasing, and you're like, this is the best by far iPhones ever released. $799 for the iPhone 17, starting at $256. $999 for the iPhone 17 Air. And then the Pro starts at $1,099 and the Pro Max at $1,199. Those are prices. Those are prices. There's a 2 terabyte model available for the iPhone 17 Air. You can get up to $1,100 off when you trade in. Oh God, I missed that part. But you can get $1,100 trade in on, I think, like an iPhone 16 or something like that, 16 Pro Max or whatever. Pre-orders begin this Friday, the 19th. Oh no, pre-orders begin on the 19th. That's 10 days from now. Or pre-orders begin this Friday and then they fully release on the 19th. Their biggest leap ever in iPhones. Yeah, you actually refresh the design. It's a refresh. A design refresh. Apple Intelligence. I like how the event started in the day and now it's nighttime and Tim Cook is closing out. That's so funny. And looks like that was the Apple event. The Apple event is over, ladies and gentlemen. The Apple event is over. All right, so some key takeaways here before closing out this live stream that I do kind of want to talk about. Not anything long discussion wise, but just, some honorable mentions. First of all, the iPhone 17 got a really big update compared to the iPhone 16. So this is what I would consider to be a worthy upgrade from the iPhone 15. And you know what? Is it a big deal in the case, if say you're on like an iPhone 12, do you want to upgrade to the iPhone 17 and get all these new features, or do you want to go for the 16? And really, it's about pricing. If you don't need these latest things that the iPhone 17 is offering, like ProMotion and all that, and like a brighter display, any of that type of stuff, then yeah, go for a 16, save some money. Go for a 15 and save some money. But I would say it's not like how it was last year. You can't be there. You can't sit there and say, well, you know what, the 14 and the 17 are pretty much identical, so just get the 14. No, because there are some worthy things that make it an actual upgrade. Given that, iPhone 17 Air, in my opinion, it's baloney. You're going to pay $1,000 for a skinny phone. pretty much, I mean, yeah, they're doing something with the camera technology in the iPhone 17 Air. And I almost am sure and believable that it is a stackable sensor. So it's one sensor with stackable mini sensors inside of it to achieve basically a base wide angle, lens to shoot with, and then a telephoto lens to shoot with. And I'm going to look more into that and talk about that in a future video. But in my opinion, it's baloney. It's like, oh yeah, well, Samsung made the Galaxy S25 Edge, so we're making the iPhone 17 Air. So now there's a skinny phone to compete with their skinny thin phone. And it's just like, whatever it is. Oh yeah, here's a strap, by the way, and now you can wear it like a purse. The 17 Pro and Pro Max had some kind of noteworthy upgrades compared to the 16 Pro series. Of course, design refresh, adapting the Pixel 2 XL's design with the current Pixel's camera bar design, creating this design that you have right now. One thing I do love about the fact of the Pro model is that it is mostly constructed metal now, with a slight, about a third of the back panel being glass. And hopefully that's just their way of making it more sensible and easier to replace glass, as well as do battery swaps. So if it is to that degree, then I honor Apple with that decision to change the design. But ultimately, Apple fans wanted a refresh. It has been years that they've had that same back design. The camera module on the upper left if you're looking at from the back, upper right if you're trying to locate where it's at from the front of the phone. It's been that design for so long. So almost 10 years later, right? It's like that design became relevant, I want to say in 2019 with the iPhone 11. Yeah. Since then, it hasn't really changed much. So seeing that change with the iPhone 11 Pro Max up to the iPhone 17 Pros and Pro Max, along with all the other additional things that it had. But a lot of those like ProMotion and all the other stuff, I mean, that was already present with the Pro models. The ProRes RAW recording in the camera on the iPhone 17 Pro series, I mean, that's something that a lot of content creators are definitely going to take advantage of, definitely going to tout about. So I feel like that a lot of the next upcoming reviews for the iPhone 17s are going to be more positives than negatives. And I think you guys are going to be thoroughly pleased with what's going to be said. And some of the things that maybe myself and other people have not talked about, another creator will talk about. So keep your eyes and your ears peeled off for some iPhone 17 stuff. I definitely am going to be paying attention and listening. Am I going to buy an iPhone 17? No. No, I am not. Because my Pixel 10 suffices. And backup devices like my Pixel 9a or even my Pixel 6 are still worth using. So there's no reason for me to shell out $800 for an iPhone 17. And then, I will be dropping a video of places that has like some of the best deals. Obviously, if you're a Boost Mobile customer and you're up and due for a review on the Infinite Access for iPhone plan, you're definitely now going to want to take advantage of that with the 17 series. I think 17 series is all good, all gas with those. The only break that I would even consider to be a break, rather than saying all gas, no brakes, is that the iPhone 17 Air to me is just over glorified, thinned out, like, hey, you got a skinny phone and there's no real thing to get it other than to say that you have it. And that's that. I'm sorry to say it. That's that. Disagreement with all you want? Hey, that's fine. If you're going to buy an iPhone 17 Air, go buy one. Because that's the reason why you should buy it. It's because you want it, right? Who gives a shit what I think? I mean, yeah, you can rest your case on that, but here's the thing. They're going to go eSIM. So it doesn't matter like how many points that you could point out to say that there's flaws. There's a reason they're going eSIM. There is a reason. It may not be something you like, but they're going to do it. And now that we only have 3 carriers, name me a carrier that's going to do physical SIM still. Like, I'll stay live for the next 5 minutes. Name me a carrier that is willing to stay with physical SIM cards. I guarantee you can't name one. Because it doesn't matter what Boost Mobile wants, what Google Fi wants, what Red Pocket wants, what Tello wants. These are companies that are mobile virtual network operators, which means that they rely on one of the three carriers in this country. By point I'm making is these three carriers want eSIM only. They don't want to do physical SIM. They don't want to spend money manufacturing SIM cards anymore. That's money that they can keep in their pocket. So even though eSIM is not 100% viable as far as, Verizon being able to activate them properly, which, that's something that's kind of skewed to like someone's perspective. You still have to look at all the other people who've activated on Verizon and see if they share the same notion. Remember, we're not the gold standards for everybody out there. So even if I had a bad experience and I share my bad experience with you guys, like I told you guys before, it's never to deter you from using something that I don't want to use, because my experience is different from yours. So, yeah. No. Your assumptions is that Verizon would still use physical SIMs because of the Razr 2025. The idea behind Verizon is that they're wanting to switch to eSIM like every other carrier in this country. I'm saying, name me a carrier who wants to stay physical SIM. That's what my question is. Not they have to because this phone doesn't activate right, which is only like a few people's experiences. It's not everybody's experience. But name me a carrier that wants to stay on physical SIM. There's not one carrier that wants to. And I mean carriers that have their own infrastructure builds, not MVNOs, not prepaid. Well, prepaids fall under the carriers, but not any MVNOs, right? They do. I mean, I was shocked when Boost Mobile was like, yeah, we're selling the Pixel 10 because now we're going to support Google Pixels for eSIM. Everything's converting over to eSIM. Everything is. And honestly, when they get it right, when they get eSIM right, it'll be much better. I'll tell you one thing though, someone steals your phone, there's no SIM card for them to rip out, so it loses data connection. So that way they can run all the way back to their house before they try to wipe the phone. Right? You can't take physical eSIM out. And if they don't have your lock to get into erasing eSIM, that phone is going to maintain a constant connection and a GPS connection. So, I mean, there are reasons why eSIM is good. Of course, I can name reasons why eSIMs are bad. But the idea when it comes to technology is that we're moving away from having to build out plastic chips to be put into phones, where everything is now just going to be downloaded onto the motherboard of the phone itself and be able to do it. Like, it is what it is. There are things that I don't like about eSIM. Don't get me wrong. I'm not championing for eSIM like as if it's the greatest thing in the world. But I do know technology to the degree that if they're moving in this direction, no matter what you and I do, kicking or screaming, they're gonna go in that direction. It's inevitable, right? As like people thought that like 5G was like giving you, the specific pandemic bug, and they were burning down, these towers constructed of being upgraded with new panels for 5G connectivity. And did it stop 5G from coming? No, still here. People were thinking that like 5G did all kinds of stuff to you. What a Zoom of a year. You're absolutely right. Zoom is the battlefront. Zoom and AI is the battlefront for the technology, for phone comparisons today, right? There are good things about the iPhone 17 that I definitely will tell people is worth upgrading to. The 17 base and the 17 Pro Max. I wouldn't say that there's anything really good of the iPhone 17 Air other than the fact that you get to tout around with a very skinny phone and say that you got a skinny phone with one camera sensor that can do the job of two camera sensors, which I'm just like, man, how good would the iPhone 17 be if it had one camera sensor to throw people off, but then had a stackable sensor of what I'm guesstimating is what the iPhone 17 Air has in order to be able to take advantage of telephoto with one camera sensor, but only have one camera sensor that has, I guess, I'm going to assume has stackable sensors inside that main sensor. So that's how you can achieve the telephoto shot with only one camera sensor on the iPhone 17 Air. And for me, I'm just like, they should just did that for the iPhone 17 then. But you know what? I mean, it is what it is. If the United States wanted eSIM, we should have kept CDMA. No, because eSIM doesn't really need to be on CDMA. CDMA was actually good. The technology in itself and what it was pitching was good, but it was also bad. Okay, that's the reason why CDMA fell away. That's the reason why that GSM and CDMA is not a thing, really. It's not a thing. Okay, ever since 4G LTE, 4G LTE is it. Long-term evolution. It was it. And it pretty much like started to put CDMA and GSM in nice comfy beds and roll the blankets up and tuck them in before 5G rolls, and it's like tuck them to sleep. CDMA is not the be-all end-all with eSIM. It's not. Although that's what a lot of people believe. Because with CDMA, you didn't need a physical SIM card, technically, for 3G connectivity. With CDMA, you did need a SIM card for 4G connectivity. This is why Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile USA at a time, if you got a 4G LTE compatible device, you still had a SIM card with it. If you took the SIM card out, like I had, if I remember, it was the HTC Evo V4G, which is just basically the HTC Evo 3D. And it would connect to 4G LTE. When I pulled the Virgin Mobile SIM card out of it, it would only connect to 3G. So the 3G side of it was downloaded onto the phone, but the LTE wasn't. So no, CDMA could not do what 5G is doing today. It cannot. It's limited. So yeah, no, we want to stick with CDMA. Yeah, Samsung would have to do that, but Samsung probably won't do that unless they find it to be like a viable option for them to force the full conversion of eSIM across all carriers. Like, yeah, it's something that I'm glad hasn't forced the conversion over, because there are people who still heavily rely on physical SIM. There are people who believe that your speeds are faster with physical SIM versus eSIM, which is actually not the case. It's not at all. Still depends on the tower you have nearby you. Still depends on what spectrum it's emitting from it. All those things still make a play in it. I have not seen speed degradation, and I've done it. I have eSIM on Google Fi on my Pixel 10. If I was to put my Google Fi service on my not OnePlus, but my Nothing Phone 1, I would have to convert to physical SIM. And speeds are relatively the same. So let's just say, like, if I took my Google Fi SIM and put it in my Pixel 8a, because my wife has a Pixel 8a, so then I would put her line on a physical SIM in her phone, and then we ran speed tests, and then we went back to eSIM and read speed tests, it would be the same. There'd be no difference. Activations, I think, is what pisses people off, and that's the reason why I like Google Fi, because I don't have problems activating eSIM with Google Fi, and it's just really downloading the app, signing into my Google account, choosing to activate my phone. It downloads the eSIM, configurations, and it provisions it, and then hit move number over to this phone, and boom, done. It's active. I don't need to call customer care or do any of that type of stuff. No, so that's eventually going to be down the road, hopefully for Verizon MVNOs and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I've hung out on this live for almost 2 hours. It's been real. It's been great. You know what? Thanks for the conversation, Georgia San Joaquin Valley. I will definitely do another podcast specifically dedicated to eSIM conversions in the United States, if it's good or bad. I would invite you to come if you want to join on the live stream and talk, or if you just want to be in the chat. Up to you, but I would love for you to come in and bring some more of that insight and energy. I would just love for you to just be a guest on the show. You don't have to have a camera on. You can stay with the camera off and just speak, but I would love to have you on. And then, yeah, more Pixel 10 coverage coming, more iPhone 17 thoughts videos coming, all that stuff coming. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks. Shout out to the person. I don't know, if you gave a tip or not, but you scanned the QR code. I got notified that you did. I appreciate you just checking it out. Like I said, that's for tipping the creator. If you guys want to give me a tip, I'd appreciate it. Scan the QR code right there, and it does it through Venmo. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat lunch now. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You guys stay blessed out there. Be safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.